This is Athens, one of the coolest neighborhoods in the city that is filled with so much history, the cradle of Western civilization. Right now we are in the neighborhood of Psyrri, which is a wonderful neighborhood to hang out at night. And we're going to walk through these areas on purpose because we're going to enjoy the main touristy areas of Athens. We're going to walk from Psyrri, right over here. We're towards the end of Psyrri. There's not too many more blocks left of this neighborhood. And then we're going to walk through Monastiraki over to Plaka, which is one of the more historic neighborhoods, and make our way to the more newer expat neighborhood of Kukaki. So join me for a journey through the touristy center of Athens at night. You're gonna see stuff that you will see if you're exploring Athens for the first time and really enjoying it, and then coming over and having fun. So let me know where you're watching from. All right, so let's walk around. There's gonna be popular music playing. Lots of nightlife happening here in the bars. And welcome everyone. Someone earlier, right now as I was starting, tried to ask me to be on YouTube. Very weird. Hello Meta, nice to see you here from Norway. Welcome. So many restaurants in this neighborhood. This is what I love about this area. It's so lively at night specifically. This neighborhood of Psyrri, which is spelled, at least in English, P-S-Y-R-R-I, is basically the Greenwich Village of Athens. So this was the Bohemian area of Athens for quite a while. This is where people used to play the Vertigo music into the late hours of night. People were coming from all parts of Greece or from the Pontic Greek areas, which was along the Turkish coast, and they were ousted from the homelands. So they came over to seek a new life in the city of Athens. And this was like the seedy slash artsy neighborhood. Still has that vibe, though has become increasingly touristy throughout the past decades, especially in the past decade specifically. When I came here in 2015 for the first time, there was still a little bit of that artsy vibe left in Psyrri. So we're going to take a small detour this way, show you one of the favorite places for tourists, which is like a wonderland of neon lights and Christmas lights, and also wacky Alice in Wonderland themed drinks. So welcome everyone, welcome Adam, welcome Yogi, welcome Kira, welcome Barbara, welcome Kay, welcome William, nice to see you here. Hope everyone's doing well. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love these little nooks and crannies right over here. Hello, William. So as we're journeying around, feel free to ask me anything. As I mentioned in the beginning, we're going to walk through the main touristy areas that are the best to hang out at night. Athens is a big city. It's more than just the tourist areas, and I have plenty of videos of other parts of Athens. You can check them out afterwards. But I think it's valuable to see the areas that you most likely will be staying at in your hotel or other type of lodging, and most likely eating at after you visit the main sites. Hey, Pythagorean says Yasu Pythagorean, welcome. Emily says perfect time for an evening walk. I agree. Completely perfect time for an evening walk. Hello, Miss Fancy from the Netherlands. Welcome. So right here, we have probably one of the more Instagrammable places in all of Athens, Little Cook. It's a huge Alice in Wonderland series of themed restaurants, ice cream places, and stores. And I've featured this many times in my live videos. So we're not gonna linger here too much. But I want to peek in to show it to you. Excuse me. Karma says, favorite restaurant in Athens. Right now, my favorite restaurant in all of Athens is a place called Kukaki. Yeah, right, look at that. Kukaki is spelled T-O-K-O-U-K-I. It's located in the neighborhood of Kukaki, which will be our final stop. I'll show you the neighborhood. But it's a great place that has modern Greek cuisine. You won't go wrong in most restaurants here in Greece in general, but in Athens, be a bit more discerning when it comes to the touristy areas, because you might find food that's a bit too expensive for Athens and also lower quality. But outside of the tourist areas, pretty much everything is pretty good. By the book says, is it humid here? It's getting humid a little bit today, but generally it's very dry in Athens. Ludo says, seems great weather here. Yeah, there's this big store. All right, let me know who wants a strawberry sized drinking cup. All right, we're gonna walk back and we're gonna backtrack a little bit, because I'm going to show you the main square in CD. Hello, Darren from Manchester. William says a transcending atmosphere. I agree, it is quite a transcending atmosphere. If you're coming with kids, I do highly recommend this. You know, you might not find the best food, but for sure it's magical for little kids. It's closed right now inside. George, it says it looks comfortable in the streets of Athens tonight. Only 87 degrees in Metro Detroit right now. Yesterday it was 93. Oh yeah, it's hot, hot, hot over here as well. But at least I can bear with it. Though, if you are of an older age and you're a bit more sensitive to the heat, or in general, if you're sensitive to heat for whatever reason, Athens in June, July, and August is not the best idea. Do not come here if you're sensitive to the heat. It will be difficult. If you do have to come here during this time, then I would recommend trying to extend your stay so you're taking it easy, because it is very hard. The sun is always beaming at you. It's very dry, which might not be the best for some people. And also, there's not that much shade, especially in the touristy sites like the Acropolis, the main ruins. As you're walking through some of these neighborhoods, there's not much shade. So do beware. If you rather come here at a nicer, cooler time, I recommend October. October's like perfect 72 degrees Fahrenheit, and there's always a breeze. But if you're a person who loves the heat like me, 100% come here during this time. I love the heat, so I'm thriving in this weather. Susie says, I'm very sensitive to the heat. Yes. If you prefer the cold, then Athens does get cold in December. Is that space actually connected to Disney? No. Alice in Wonderland, as far as I know, it's in the public domain. So, and then they do have the Disney versions of the cartoon, so I think they're technically violating copyright. But we won't tell. We won't tell. What time of the year is less humid in Athens? That's a great question, Adam. I don't know for sure. Less humid. If I were to give you an educated guess, I would say right now, June, July. So this is like the main area of the neighborhood of CD. So pardon my Greek. I luckily am able to pronounce Greek words well. Of course, it's not perfect. Hey, Susie says, I'd rather January. Indeed. Fine Squirrel says, gotcha, yeah. So this broadcast, I'm here to answer any of your questions that you would like. about Athens. So at night you often find these restaurants that are awesome to go to. They might charge you a little bit more, but it's worth it for the atmosphere and for the live music over here. Like these guys. Kathy says, so are you back in Athens? Unless if this is a very elaborate green screen using Unreal Engine 7. Yes, indeed, I am back in Athens. Love the very Greek-looking Coca-Cola sign, says Flying Squirrel. Yeah, me too. I mean, I just love the atmosphere here. It's one of my favorite cities. It's a hectic city. It's a city that has grime and grit, but I love it. It has its charm. Someone in a live stream a few days ago said, Greece is it's a beautiful woman that's just heavily tattooed. That's basically Greece, right? In a nutshell. So through these streets of CD, Athens nowadays, if you stick to this neighborhood of CD and the other neighborhoods we're going to, is generally safe. So I would encourage you to go through these side streets. You'll find smaller cafes and smaller bars that actually might have even better food. Definitely very good cocktails and wine and so forth. Kathy says this was not an area you were in your documentary. Yes, Kathy, I was here. Episode 5. CD was heavily featured in the beginning and the end of the episode. So I have 6 episodes of a documentary series about Athens, Greece, about what makes Athens a vibrant city. You know, now we're in a quieter area, but I'm going to backtrack because we'll be going deeper into CD, but now we want to make our way to Monastiraki. So yeah, I went on a journey to answer the question, what makes Athens a vibrant city? And I found some very interesting answers. 6 episodes, we explored food, culture, music, architecture, modern geopolitics, and even nightlife and many other things. It's wonderful. Meta says that they always tell that you tourists are served bad food. You know, in Greece, I have not seen any egregious bad food in the tourist areas. That is definitely the case in America. You know, when watching these live streams, I compare a lot to America because that's where I'm from. And I know New York. So New York is a great city, but we have a wider spectrum. And the tourist traps in New York are way worse than you encounter your average tourist trap in Athens. And I've been to many other countries. Tourist traps are here not too bad, so you'll have pretty good food. Food that's good enough in these more packed tourist areas. Are Athenians flirtatious, says Almo? No. Greeks are not flirtatious. No, they're not. Greeks are open, they're friendly, they joke around, large sense of humor for sure, but no, there's not that much flirtation. And the many cats of Athens. One of the many stoas, which is these indoor passageways in Athens. Hey, George says, where are you headed tonight? I'm exploring tonight. I'm indeed in Greece for my birthday, so excited to spend a nice Greek birthday with some good company. Lorraine says, so sad. Lorraine, don't be sad about the cats. The cats are very well fed. They're very well taken care of. And you see this in Athens and all around Greece. They're very well taken care of. Greek culture is very communal. That means everyone kind of looks out for each other, especially in the community. Or in Athens, maybe the block you're in, or the family that you have. But this also applies to street animals, especially cats, and to a lesser extent dogs. But cats especially are taken care of like if they were family. Different people in the neighborhood give them food, give them milk, give them shelter. So the cats live a pretty good life. And also, Athens is fairly dry, 270 days of sunshine, no rain. That means the cats rarely have to seek that much shelter. Cat Yellow Ranger says, well-fed kitty. Yes, they are very well fed, indeed. I would bet that the cats probably thrive more here because they're not limited to one home. They can do as they please. They can chill out anywhere they would like. Susie says, I miss Nico the cat. Yeah, the lovely cat that I met in Ikaria that chose me as its owner. I had to refuse, unfortunately, sadly. The cat was very friendly. So check out my Ikaria Airbnb tour, which is a island in Greece, very remote. I had to say no to that poor cat. Alma says, oh yeah, massive day tomorrow. Oh yeah, indeed. So one thing when you're here, practice street smarts. Don't walk around with fear. Athens is generally a safe city. Greece is probably one of the safest countries I've ever felt in so far in Europe. But always practice street smarts. If you're in these immense touristy areas, don't have your wallet easily accessible via your side pocket or your back pocket, especially not your back pocket. And then if you're sitting down for a meal, don't leave your phone, especially far away from yourself. And if someone comes to you and asks you either for money or for help, or to sign something, or to buy some little thing like a rose, I would recommend saying no. And don't be too polite. You don't need to be polite. You can just give a no. That's all. One of the reasons I say that is that we are indeed a touristy city, and people do come here to try to take advantage of tourists who wouldn't know better to steal your stuff. And don't take it personally. It's just what they're doing. It's a crime. That's what they're doing. They're not picking you because of you. It's just because you're a tourist. So just don't be an easy victim. That's why I would recommend just practice street smarts when you're out in a city like Athens. Otherwise, you don't have to have any fear. Every morning, Nico the cat is looking out the window, wondering if Ariel will be back. Nico the cat from Ikaria, Greece, did summon itself to my door at the Airbnb I was staying at. Every night I was there, and he would stay the entire night she stay the entire night until I would wake up, and she would still be there. And then as I would eat breakfast outside, like I did in this Airbnb, because there was a patio with beautiful views, it would stroke my leg, go on my lap, meow and purr. And at that moment, when I filmed a little short video and posted it on Instagram, people were like, oh, this cat chose you. And that's when I really knew that, oh wow, this is an actual real phenomenon, that you don't choose the cat. Sometimes the cats, or most times the cat chooses you. Susie says, oh, it was female? Yeah, apparently she was, because someone from the neighborhood actually knew the cat and bumped into my video about the Airbnb in Ikaria, Greece, and told me the history about the cat. She was like, oh, this ginger cat has been here for X year. I think it was only like a year, a few months. It was left by this home, and told me a few extra details about the cat. Cat Yellow Ranger says there are cats like that in Spain too. That's how I got my cats. I got adopted, says Emily. Interesting, yeah. A lot of people commented the same thing, saying that is a well-known phenomenon. So right here, we're seeing possibly one of the better views. So right here, we're approaching Monastiraki. Monastiraki is the Times Square of Athens. Right in the center right now where most people would hang out. It's surrounded by all these touristy things that you would do here. And we're gonna walk through it. But before, in live videos of last summer, I walked up here through what is called Ermou Street. E-R-M-O-U, Ermou. And this street is like the main like Broadway area where there's a lot of shops like H&M, Zara, big name shops. So today we're not gonna walk through there. That would lead us to the Parliaments in Tagma Square, where you can see the changing of the guard, I think even to this late night. We're gonna walk through here to Monastiraki. So Monastiraki means, monastery comes from monas, monastery, and aki, which is a frequent what's it called when it's the end of the name? It's not prefix, the other one. It's often the end of, added to the end of names in Crete, but aki means small. Monastiraki, small monastery, and this is the small monastery. Pantelis says, Athens, the most beautiful city. Pantelis, I agree with you. I mean, the city definitely isn't obviously beautiful, but there's this charm to it that, to me, I find it beautiful. The more I come here, the more I fall in love with it. Truly. Suffix, thank you everyone for letting me know. Suffix, akis is a very common suffix for meaning small. So here we're surrounded by a whole host of different architecture. We got neoclassical. This is the old train station, still a train station today. It's one of the first train stations in Athens. Here we have what used to be Ottoman era architecture. This was a mosque back during the 400 years of Ottoman occupation, all the way till 1821 when the Greek Revolution started. And the Greeks continued to battle with the Ottomans all the way through the early 1920s. And then here we have Greek Orthodox architecture. This is very old. This is a little bit less than 1,000 years old. And then right next door we have the Polykatakias. This was the rampant architecture built from the late 40s, 50s, 60s, and especially the 1970s, when the military regime, the military junta, the three colonels took over, and massive construction ensued all around the city, and it exploded from a city of 2,000 in the late 1800s to now a city of at least 5 million, if not more. It's not full moon today, but it's close to a full moon. Here's one of the rooftop bars, 360. Let's walk a little bit down here. I'll point out where it's a good rooftop bar. Din says, you probably have Greek ancestry, hence you feel the connection. I probably have zero Greek ancestry. My dad has done his own DNA ancestry test. We have no Greek on my paternal side. My maternal side probably has no Greek either. So I would venture to guess I have zero Greek ancestry. But why do I have a connection? Maybe it transcends my own life. Maybe it goes to past lives where I used to be one of the ancient Greek gentries, or maybe I was a Greek philosopher. At the other end of Armu is the best gelato, says Prague. Oh yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine there's great gelato there. Thank you so much for letting me know. What remains of the Ottoman Empire today in Athens? Not much, Adam. It's a great question. Not much. A lot of the Ottoman influences on Greece were purposefully erased during the military junta of the 1970s. There were measures to erase it before then, since the 1821 revolution, but especially during the military junta of the 1970s, there was a really extreme movement to de-Ottomanize or de-Turkishize Greece. So all minarets were destroyed, meaning those kind of columns that stick out from mosques and Ottoman buildings. Any remains of Ottoman or Muslim religion were erased as well. It really, they stopped eating lamb and converted more to chicken and pork. So there was extreme measures to erase all Ottoman culture. Turkish coffee became Turkish coffee became Greek coffee. Turkish delights became Greek delights, and so on and so forth. Did I miss the entrance? I think the entrance is here. Prague. This is here. Dinda says, this is what I meant, your past life. I think I remember giving you the description of the buildings from a previous visit, says George. George, I appreciate that. Usually later at night on the weekends, this is a bit more popping. It's a bit empty right now. I think the rooftop bar that I like is closed. This kind of sucks. So around here, there's a lot of rooftop bars. I think my favorite one is closed right now. The entrance is not open. But I recommend going to any of these rooftop bars. Generally, you have a good time. They'll charge you a little bit expensive for a drink. Not as New York expensive though. So maybe like 12 euro, 14 euro, maybe maximum. But it'll be worth it because you see views of the Acropolis at night. Girl in the Curl says, I caught you live. Oh, Girl in the Curl, yeah, I'm glad. So right here was the entrance to my favorite rooftop bar, but they're closed today. Maybe it's because it's a Tuesday. Tuesday is the one day that they're closed. So let's walk over here and see a little bit of the Agora. Okay, everyone, sorry for the interruption. So, gelato, not right now. I'll walk a little more. Show you a little bit more of the live music. Catch a glimpse of the Agora. So this is a nice little stretch of restaurants right by the Agora. This is the old ancient Greek Agora, which was a civic center. great music. He was playing the bouzouki, if I'm correct. Oh, the subway is passing through here. This is one of the oldest oldest train tracks in all of Athens. Now it's used for the metro. Passes right by the Agora. The vibe here at Greece at night is great. If you have the chance, definitely save your energy to hang out in Greece at night, in Athens specifically. There's so much things to do. The vibes are immaculate. The temperatures are cooler. Live music is abound in the streets. So much beauty here. So right here we have the Stoa of Attalos, which is part of the ancient Agora. This was the civic center of ancient Athens. This is where all the main philosophers would have hung out in. Socrates, Aristotle, Plato, Diogenes. The playwrights probably would have done business here or voted here. Sophocles, Aristophanes. Great leaders would have been here. Pericles, even Alexander the Great. This was a very, very important place. And not just Greek history, but world history. Evangelie says, "Are you now in Athens?" I am indeed now in Athens. Now it's very dark, closes at 8 p.m. But well worth a visit. Buy a combo ticket combined with all the other ancient ruin sites in the city center of Athens, which is about 7 of them. And you only pay 30 euro. I think right now is about 30 euro. And the ticket lasts for 5 days, so you can take your sweet time to visit all the ruins. Pentelli says I should visit the Greek islands. I have, significantly. I went last year. Last year I went to the Greek islands a lot. This year we'll have enough time to visit all the Greek islands. This is one of my favorite videos. I did a live video here back in 2021, a philosophical chat at Diodos. That's what's the name. Great restaurant, great Greek food. Flying Squirrel says, so cool to see ancient buildings next to modern ones. Yes, and right here we have the legendary Acropolis. This is the fort on the hill with the beautiful ancient Parthenon right on top in the middle. That is about 50 stories tall. That's a 500 feet above sea level, so 50 stories tall. Right there. So you could just imagine a 50-story tall skyscraper in the middle of Athens. I so wish one could visit the Parthenon at night. I think there's very few times a year where it's open at night. Susie says Ariel was in the past life here. maybe. LAB to believe this is really real. Yeah, well, this is Europe. There's stuff like this all around Europe. You go to Rome, you'll see this. You go south of France, you'll see this. You go to Paris, you'll see this. Parts of England, everywhere in Europe. This is why I love Europe. It's very unique to Europe because there's been many great civilizations all across the world, but Europe is unique where it has preserved a lot of its architecture and also its ancient ruins, which not every country that had a great civilization did. Like Shanghai in China is not known to have preserved many buildings from a few hundred years ago, let alone ancient times. Japanese architecture really wasn't built to last. So there's not that much ancient Japanese architecture. India, kind of struggles with a lot more urban issues. So they also don't have that much historic architecture kind of laying around. Or maybe it is, but a bit run down. So Europe is pretty unique in a global context. Here we have more of the ancient Agora. This was recently excavated. By recent, maybe like 20 years ago or so. Ice says everyone's in white. Yeah, you kind of need it. If you dress black in the middle of the day, you're gonna fry. Right over here, we have the Temple of Hephaestus, and this is one of the better preserved ancient temples in the world, and definitely within Greece. It's almost as old as the Parthenon and still has an intact rooftop. The building basically you can walk into like if it were any normal building, if you had access. So you can walk up to it, you can walk around it, which is nice. You can peek inside of it as well. Have you visited Kalithea district? Says yes. No, I haven't been to Kalithea. So yesterday I had the pleasure of visiting Halandri. A local recommended me to go up there, and we checked it out. We had a few drinks and dinner, and it was awesome checking out Halandri. So Halandri, beautiful neighborhood farther up north in Athens, one of the suburbs. And there's other great suburbs area in Athens that are walkable, like Glyfada, Voula, Voulagmeni, Kifisia. There's a few others. But they're not really touristy, so you won't see too many tourist attractions up there. If you want to see local Athenian life, then it might be worth a Uber ride up there and going for a tiny bit. So right here we have another great restaurant. This is called Theta. I just tried this today. It was really good, great quality, and I enjoyed it. Hey, Shiva Balan, nice to see you here. Girl in the Curl says, yeah, that's amazing. You can see how it looks like. Yes, indeed. Ooh, here we're even getting a better perspective. Look at that. Wow. Majestic. Okay, so I can walk a little bit further down. This area is going to be very nice. And if you curve around, because it curves around, there's the area of Ghazi, which is kind of like the Williamsburg, Brooklyn of Athens. And then if you go around this way, which I have in many live videos, especially in 2021, you have the area of Theseo, which is awesome. Bagrati, I think it's called. And those neighborhoods have great restaurants. It's a little bit more locals than here, which is a bit more touristy. So I highly recommend walking that area. But now we're going to backtrack and make our way into Plaka. And someone said, you've been recommending my videos to your boyfriend to understand Greek culture. You are Greek and you're letting your boyfriend learn more about Greek culture. That is awesome to hear. I'm so happy to hear that. I am more than happy to teach some from my American perspective, Greek culture. So that's awesome. Of course, I'm not Greek, but I am a student of culture. Even more so than just a student of history. I'm definitely a student of culture. I really love learning about cultures as deeply as I can. That's why I linger in these places for longer periods of time than the normal tourist and the normal travel vlogger. And sometimes people are asking me, why are you 3 weeks in Athens? Why are you spending a month in northern England? And that's the reason. It's because I want to integrate myself into the culture, get a feeling for the culture. Because I think if you get an insight for how people think, what drives them to think a certain way, what motivates them to think a certain way, due to historical circumstances, due to circumstances of their environment, both urban and natural, you get a deeper perspective of the place. And I think sometimes coming from an outsider perspective, you can see things that even locals wouldn't notice because it's just so normal to them. And that's definitely the case in New York. People have pointed things about New York that I just realized, oh yeah, that is interesting. So, or Puerto Rico, where my family's from as well. All right, let's go back. It's kind of cool that we're kind of backtracking, so you kind of get a sense to orient yourself. So the main marker, the point of reference for Athens is the Acropolis. If you see the Acropolis, that's the center of the city. It's like Times Square in New York, like the Eiffel Tower in Paris, like Big Ben in London. This is the center of the city. So to orient yourself, back this way was the neighborhood where we started, CD. This way is Monastiraki straight ahead, which we're going to walk through. This way is going to be Plaka. And then back here is the less touristy areas, a bit more, it's more locals. And you have other neighborhoods like Keramikos, Gazi, Fisio, Agrati. Joe says you need time to get into a culture. Yes, you do. Evangelisa, you enjoy it. Ooh, what was the recommendation for gelato? We get a lot of gelato recommendations. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate that. Girl the Girl says, I have leftover Sunday sauce and meatballs. Ah, that's a great American dish. I would love that. Sounds great. Girl the Girl, thank you so much for the invite. Alina says Kalispera, which means good afternoon. People use it all the way until the late hours of the night. Kalispera. Evangelista says it's Astagios 11. You're so close. Thank you so much for the recommendation. I'll keep it in mind if I come back here. Little dog here. Seems to be someone's pet. Are you getting better to understand the language, says Ludo? I can understand kind of like the basic things that people are kind of saying. But yeah, I can't really decipher Greek yet. I know when someone's telling me hello, goodbye, have a good day. Do you understand Greek? Do you speak English? What would you like? I understand a lot of the basic things that you will encounter kind of just in your everyday. Oh my God, there's an ice cream shop called the Lulu. Just like the word that a lot of Gen Z are using to describe when someone's delusional. The Lulu. Oh, I love this restaurant. I gotta come back here. These guys are playing great music. Flight Squirrel says, the dog is leading me somewhere. The dog was leading me somewhere. He left. I can't find him. I don't know where he is. These guys are being led to ice cream somewhere. I'm not sure where. There's a lot of talk of ice cream here. Is it a new thing? Are Athenians obsessed with ice cream now? Is this it? Orange pie, that's amazing. Highly recommend. Mona Lisa. Prague says it's hot. I don't know, I was looking forward to a hot chocolate. I'm not sure why people were talking about ice cream. I was looking for burning hot loukoumades, which are the tiny little donut holes that they sell here in Greece. I don't know why people want some ice cream. Who eats cold things on a hot day like this? Easy, nice to see you here. Para todo el mundo viendo en español, estoy ahora en Atenas. Estamos caminando por las áreas turísticas aquí en el centro de la ciudad. Y para que tenga una perspectiva que tú vas a ver por la noche, que vale la pena ver por la noche. Oh, here we found the dog. He was leading me to buy souvenirs. That's where he was leading me. So I was saying, welcome everyone, taking you to the touristy areas that are best to visit at night. Prague says the store at Lukumadis is really good. Yes, in all seriousness, Lukumadis is actually amazing. I recommend going to have it. Okay, so you can see a really cool ruin. Here is Hadrian's library. The Emperor Hadrian himself loved coming here to Athens. It was this place to learn all about architecture. Apparently, I think it was also a place where he hung out with his lover. I forgot his lover's name, do remind me. It was like a 50-year-old man. He was with a 20-something-year-old guy. And yeah, he commissioned this library. This was like the little Roman learning center during the hundreds AD around there. How legitimate are the street vendors in Athens? I would say from an American perspective, souvenirs here are pretty good price. Very good price, actually. I have not seen anyone rip off too much. I wouldn't say they were ripping off. I would say some people might charge you a little bit more, but I get the feel that you wouldn't get ripped off. Ripped off is where, they charge you exorbitant amount. I haven't seen that to be the case here. So yeah, be a bit discerning if you're like in this main hub and trying to shop around for like a nice shirt. You might have like lower quality linen. I'm speculating maybe at a place like this. I would venture a guess that might not be the best place for a good linen. But maybe if you go a little bit deeper to the off streets, you might find a little bit better linen for a little bit smaller price. Instead of €70, it might be €60. See, London says, where are you? I am in Athens, Greece, at Hadrian's library. So now we're leaving the neighborhood of Monastiraki and heading into the neighborhood of Plaka, which is the oldest continuously lived in neighborhood in the entire world. 2,000 years, people have been living in this neighborhood, which we're about to walk to right now. The prices are good in Greece, you just need to know where to buy. Yes, you'll find better, thank you so much, George the Greek, I appreciate that. You'll find better quality souvenirs a little bit outside of the touristy areas, the main touristy streets. I hear a drone, someone's flying a drone up there. But fret not, you won't be ripped off. Adam says, greetings from Poland. From the point of view of urban planning, Athens is probably the most interesting and unusual city in Europe. Indeed it is, from a viewpoint of urban planning. Athens is a car city, but it ain't Los Angeles. Athens is very walkable. It's super dense, but yet mostly dominated by cars currently. So it's a very fascinating combination, similar to New York, that you have a big domination of cars, but yet it's very walkable. But it's way more hectic than New York, way more wildly planned than New York. All right, who wants a tote bag? Who wants postcards? I got all the postcards, all the tote bags. You want a hat? Let me know if you want a hat. We're doing a giveaway. Hats, tote bags, postcards. Just leave your address, your full name, your mother's maiden name, your PIN number, and your social security number, and then we'll be sending you a special little prize. We'll send you one of these right here. I'm joking. Do not leave your personal information in the comments. I am joking. Hey, Hive says hello. Adam says I would like a magnet. Awesome, Adam. Prague would like calendars. LAB says tote bags. I have a tote bag disorder. Yeah, me too, LAB. I compulsively buy tote bags in every location I visit. I have a huge collection at home. Totes on totes on totes. It's cool. We're moving up the foothills of the Acropolis right now, so we're a little bit higher elevation. We're starting to see the rooftop bars. Let's zoom in. See the rooftop bars here. Panagiotis! Panagiotis, long-time viewer, fellow Greek viewer, leaving a €5 super chat saying, enjoy a good Freddo espresso tomorrow. I will do. Oh man, with €5, I can splurge and buy 2 Freddo espressos, which I will. Because drinking coffee is very easy here. It's very easy to just keep on chugging those nice iced coffees. So I will. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Let's see this is a great way to see the ancient ruins. You know, they're worth entering. 100% go into the ancient ruins. There's a few museums here in Athens. And while the museums are nice, if you have few days, I would prioritize the ruins over the museums. Or if you really want to pack in your days, then do museums during the day and then leave the ruins for the last 2 hours that they're open. Because that way you won't be too burning hot exploring these ruins. And you can enjoy the hottest time of the day inside a cool AC museum. So that would be my recommendation. Maria, nice to see you here. Maria says, love those frappes. And we have the other Maria tuning in from Athens. Hey. Prague says it's pronounced Panagiotis. Yes, indeed. C. London says, do I collect fridge magnets? I don't, just tote bags. Tote bags and postcards. I have a huge postcard collection now. Here we have some beautiful art. We got a lot of tourists passing through right now. Ida, nice to see you here. Prague says, thank you for the diversion. My pleasure, Prague. My deepest pleasure. Thank you so much for tuning in. Say hello. Shiv, nice to see you here. Ida, welcome. Susie says, at least you don't have the compulsion to buy Louis Vuitton all the time. Yeah, that would be a much more pricier compulsion. Ooh, who wants some art? Let me know. I'm in a very, very giving mood today, so let me know if you want any of these pieces of art. I only have like a $20,000 budget, so please do not make me exceed that budget. Hey, Flying Squirrel says, in Edinburgh we bought things that typical tourists might. Pen, shirt, magnet, and Yorkshire made scarf. Ooh, that's a good bet. I agree with that. Evangeline, it says it's near the Museum of Illusions. Ooh, I want that. Yeah, I just want that huge saintly knight in front of my, just like in my bedroom. Plaka is pretty quiet right now. This is kind of cool. So right now we are in the neighborhood of Plaka. Plaka means stone. We don't see the stones right now, but you'll see them soon. And this is the oldest continuous lived in neighborhood in the entire world. That means people have been living here for 2,000 plus years. Continuously. It has been a neighborhood ever since. There's other places around the world that are older, but people have not been living there the entire time. Pythagoras says, here, your apartment building. Pythagoras, thank you for letting me. Do not reveal your address on these comments, but thank you for letting me know. That's awesome. This is a nice little restaurant. Wow, very romantic. When's the Edinburgh documentaries coming out? Says Gary. December. We're taking quite a while. We decided to do a coffee documentary first. Coffee will be coming out mid-July to late July. And then Edinburgh, December. So stay tuned. Edinburgh will be just in time for Christmas. Edinburgh is a great place to explore, I think, especially in the Christmas time. So here I think we have, I think this is called the Temple of Zeus. Firestorm says, what a nice night. These columns, yeah, I know, these columns are gorgeous. Another of the ruins that you can visit. I don't think this is Zeus. Let's see the name of these ruins. I gotta refresh my memory. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. This is the Roman Agora. And wow, they have like a new visitor center here. This is the ticket office. So right here is the Roman Agora. You can buy your combined ticket at any of these ticket offices. Pro tip, if it's a hot day, if it's in the middle of July, and it's a day that cruise ships have come, you're gonna wait way too long for a ticket. So buy your ticket online from the official archaeological ministry of Greece. Let me know what's the name. The website is not so obvious, but if anyone could put down the address, I'll be so appreciative. But go to the direct website. Don't buy it from Viator. Don't buy it from another service like Get Your Guide. I like those services for other things, but not for buying these tickets. Buy your ticket directly from the archaeological ministry site, because you'll get the best price and you'll get a valid ticket and you won't run into issues. And if you get online, you can even buy the day before. It's not really that difficult to get into these sites as of yet, as of June 2024. But if you buy your tickets, you'll avoid waiting in line in the burning hot heat. And look at these views. Wow. So this is amazing. So right behind it we have the Acropolis. In front we have the Roman Agora. This was the civic center for the Romans that were residing here after the downfall of the ancient Greek Empire, or ancient Greek Republic. Wait, actually ancient Greek democracy. And then the Roman Republic came over here. Flying Squirrel says that moon just adds to the atmosphere. Ancient ruins, buildings, ancient moon, things people from thousands of years away saw. Is that the moon up there? Yeah, that is the moon right up there. It's gorgeous. Daniel says I would go there at nighttime and come after sunset. Yeah. It closes at 8, so it'll still be during June and July. It'll still be a bit before sunset, but if you're here at any other time of the year, you can see sunset from all these ancient ruins. Any idea how many steps you take in the day to walk? Says Adam. No, I don't track my steps. When I'm really exploring, I walk up to 10 miles per day. So right now here they list the prices as €8 to come into just this site, and €30 for the combine of the 7 sites. And most likely you'll visit at least 4 of them out of the 7. And here we can see how the sites are all located. So we started walking from this area right here, and then we went down to Monastiraki, around a little bit of the Agora, and then back down here, and then we're walking this way. Ludo says, are they still finding new ruins today? Yeah, they are. The Ministry of Archaeology, I forgot the official name of that branch of government, but they're very strict. If you buy a property, they will investigate it very deeply and see if there's any ancient ruins beneath it. Sometimes the process can be rather long. So yeah, they still find ancient ruins below many of these buildings. For example, nearby in the neighborhood of Acropolis, which is one of the 7 ancient ruins included in that combo ticket price. They found that, I think, a few decades ago. It wasn't too long ago. Someone's playing rock music. Wrong music to play in Greece. Firestorm says, I love it. Love visiting Greece. Man, I'm so happy you do. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is why I love walking through Plaka. We're only walking through a fragment of it today. There's way much more. Let's see if we can see the main strip of restaurants. So this neighborhood is very good for a romantic walk. If you're here with a significant other, definitely come over here. You'll enjoy a good walk. Go to one of the better restaurants here with views. You're gonna have a very good time. See how far up we're going now. Hey, my Vespa, my Urbanist orange Vespa. Hey, who parked over here? I'll ride that later tonight. Get back to my lodging. Here we have one of the many beautiful restaurants in these tiny little stone streets to enjoy the views. Yeah. Wow, I'm just in love with places like this. Truly one of the better neighborhoods. You know, it might not sound like much when you read it in the guidebooks. You might think the museums and some of the ancient ruins should take top priority over walking these streets, because it's just old neighborhood, but no, this is why. Look at these views. It's such a unique experience. You won't find this in many parts of the world. The Greek island, but not too many places in the world you can have this atmosphere. So unique, so historic. So this area is overall very safe. I would recommend it even if you're solo traveling, to explore this area freely at night. It's really wonderful. It's lively until the early morning, to late hours, like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. You'll still see people around here. So it's a really, really lovely place to visit. Back in the 1970s, this was the heyday of nightlife in Athens. A lot of these older 1800s neoclassical buildings used to be clubs and venues. You can imagine a very different atmosphere. Nowadays it's restaurants and probably very expensive Airbnbs here and some very, very expensive homes. But before, it was nightclubs. Hello Mika, nice to see you here. I love the junction of ancient and modern, says Walter. This is why I love Athens as well. You really do have ancient and modern kind of mishmash together. Ooh, here we have more live music. Oh, the streets are filled with music in Athens. Kind of surprising you guys are playing indoors. So here is one of the more famous streets here in Plaka. Look at this. Oh wow, that's amazing. Hey, Kalispera. Wow, look at that. Just look at this beauty. And some of these restaurants have rooftops as well. So some of the rooftops are open, so you can get even better views. Pythagorean says, my absolute favorite part to have a Greek meal. Oh, that's good to hear. You know, of course you're not gonna find a lot of these restaurants are not gonna have the top Greek food, but it'll still be pretty good food. You'll be paying just a bit extra, but you're paying extra for the views and the atmosphere, and it's worth it in my opinion. But the prices are nowhere near as much as New York or London. So I would say fret not if you are coming from those parts of the world. Anyways, nonetheless, it's still possible to eat cheap in many parts of Athens. And in a lot of these places, you're not forced to buy a bunch of food like you are in America in the restaurant. Here you can just have a cup of wine with a nice little appetizer, and that's it. That's a little glass of wine, appetizer. Or you can have a gigantic meal, doesn't matter. You can stay as long as you want to. They're not gonna force you out. They're not gonna pressure you to buy a bunch of food, to buy more alcohol. It's all pretty chill. This is why I love Greece. Are the plants real? The plants are indeed real, yeah. Flying Squirrel says the appetizer can be dinner. Yes, indeed. Yeah. Appetizers here are gigantic. They might be €5 for like an order of zucchini balls, giftedes, and it'll be like 10 of them, and they'll be huge, each of them. So yeah, you can get really filled up with some of these appetizers.
Iceland.
Alpha says, you're my favorite alley. This alley's been in Greek cinema and TV. Really? You know, I haven't had the chance to go too deep into Greek cinema. We searched from some older public domain Greek cinema to use as footage for our documentary series, or as reference to certain clips that were mentioned by our guests. So it was nice to see these older Greek films, and there's quite a lot of them on YouTube. So search Greek cinema and you'll find a playlist where I've seen that there is at least 20 of them up. And some of them look really cool, so I gotta watch more Greek cinema myself. Another beautiful alleyway here. This is a famous song. Nice little restaurant as well. Oh my god, this is amazing. Let me give you an idea of prices you would have in this touristy area. Appetizers range between 9 to 20. Main courses, euro that is. Main courses are between 15 to 40. So a bit pricey. This is not indicative of the prices in Athens. Athens, you'll spend a lot less. Athens will be a third of these prices in other neighborhoods. Ludo says, let's take a little pause and have a cool. Oh yeah. Is this Santorini? No, but looks like it. me a 10 euro super chat. Thank you so much, Ludo. That will almost cover a drink. I appreciate that. So yeah, we stopped by for some drinks. Enjoy the views as I wait for the waitress to come by. I'll show you the cocktails. They have a nice list of cocktails. The ones that are a little bit Greek themed. So stay tuned. I have the island cocktail, please.
Yes.
And also a small sparkling water.
What?
Island
Island? Yeah.
and sparkling water.
Thank you.
So Ida's asking, am I on a terrace? No, I'm not on a terrace. I am in one of the streets of Plaka that is pretty steep. So all these streets are kind of staircase streets. So welcome everyone. Right now the cocktails range pretty much all 12 euro, which is nice. And then they have a cocktail made with Ouzo, which I'm excited to try. Ouzo is the local Greek digestif, and you don't find too much Ouzo cocktails in Greece. Usually they serve the classic cocktails: Negroni, gin and tonic, whiskey sour, tequila sunrise, mojito is very common. You'll sometimes find pina coladas. Yeah, so you'll find more of those typical cocktails. But right now we're having a Ouzo sour cherry cocktail. Let's see how it is. So feel free to ask me anything that you would like. And I'm so happy to be here. This is the beauty of dining in Athens. It's so casual. You see, like, we are in one of the more beautiful areas. It's a Tuesday night, so it's gonna be a bit more empty. But I don't need a reservation. I don't need to go to the hostess and say, hey, may I have a table for one, please? And have the hostess choose a table for me. I don't need to go through any of that hassle. And I realized how amazing it is to not go through that hassle. Because I lived in New York for so many years, coming to first Paris and then now Greece, I realized how fun it is to just casually go to a place and just sit down. No need to go through an entire rigmarole, to just have a nice drink in a beautiful place. And this is what I love about Athens and Greece overall. And this also applies to other countries like France as well. Let me know if you've experienced that kind of shift, that kind of culture shift from an area of the world where dining and drinking is a bit more regimented, or a place like Italy where it's super regimented. You do have to generally kind of make your reservation to eat a good meal in Italy, to coming to a place like Greece where it's like, whoa, wait a minute, no reservation? I didn't need to plan ahead. I didn't need to like think like, oh, you know, I really wanted to go to this pretty street in Athens or some of the Greek islands, and I have to like now like think about where to go, what time they're going to open, what time they're busy or not, if it's walk-in only, if it's reservation. If it is reservation, do I have to call them? Do I have to know Greek to call them? Do I have to make an online reservation? You don't need to go through any of that hassle, and it's so beautiful. This is what I love. So yeah, let me know if you've gone through that. Hey, Adam says there has to be places to eat. That's it in the U.S. Yeah, the thing is with New York City, places are tiny, naturally due to the nature of the urban environment of New York, and due to the rents, the price of rents in New York, and also the weather. Though those factors are not so set in stone, they're not so. They don't prevent you fully. Like, it's not a rule that if it rains a little bit in your city, that you will always have to have indoor restaurants. It doesn't have to be a hard and set rule. Of course, there's the realities of the natural and urban environment. Like Puerto Rico, there's not that much urban outdoor dining, at least in the northern parts, because it's very rainy. So it'll be kind of a pain to outdoor dine at least too often. It can rain out of nowhere. Same thing like in Ireland or Edinburgh. Thank you so much. This looks good. Have you been to Olympia, Greece before, says Shiv? Yeah, I just posted a short video and I have a live video from Olympia. All right, everyone, check this out. Here we have an Ouzo cocktail made with sour cherry, Ouzo, and 2 other ingredients. Let me grab a menu to see what they are. And then I grabbed the sparkling water just because I'm extra thirsty. Greece is probably the most relaxing night vibe in the world. I've never seen anything this good. And that's the other thing, it's a relaxing night vibe. Because certain places at night is a bit more intense. It requires more planning ahead. There's spontaneity in very, very big cities, but a place like Athens, you can have full spontaneity without really thinking about it. All right, first I'm gonna try some sparkling water. Oh my god, oh, that's so good. All right, now the cocktail. Vibrant red. Let's see how it is with some Ouzo. The Greeks like to say, when I drink Ouzo, I feel like a god. And for sure, Ouzo has that effect. Yamas, as they say. Let's try this out. We have a German family staring at me. All right, let's try this out. Oh my god. It combines really well. So you have the licorice taste of the Ouzo. Ouzo is kind of anise flavored, so it's licorice tasting. But it has that bitterness of the sour cherry. The sourness of the sour cherry combines well. Oh, that's really good. Oh wow, with the soda water. Oh, that's amazing. Oh my god. It's weird. It's strong, but it's good. Flights Girl says maybe they recognize you. No. It's just some people are just fascinated by the camera. In Greece, I noticed most people really kind of just don't care. But some other nations, some other cultures that might visit here, or when I go to their countries, they're like a little bit like, especially like kids, they're like, what's he doing? This is the life. Susie says, are you doing anything special for your birthday? Yes, I'm gonna have some good company, some good food, and we're gonna enjoy some good entertainment. So yes, you may see a clip of it. You might see a little snippet of where I go, but yes, I'll be doing something. Plans are already in motion. Daniel, nice to see you here. I missed what cocktail you have. I have the island cocktail. Ouzo, sour cherry, soda, and one other type of liquor. Let me get the menu, see what it is. It's citrus oleo. Citrus oleo. So I got the island cocktail. Ouzo, sour cherry, citrus oleo, soda water. €12. And €12 is expensive for Athens, but you're paying for the atmosphere. Cocktails here, like a average cocktail can go around €8 or lower sometimes. Hey, Firestorm says, I'm turning 50. Yes, of course. How did you guess? Ludo says it's a nice place to visit. Indeed it is. It is a very nice place to visit. So pro tip, if you are visiting and not too aware of the etiquette when it comes to dining, if you see outdoor seating and there's plenty of it, generally you can sit anywhere. You don't need to go up to a host. If the place seems extremely packed and you get a sense that people are waiting, then don't sit just anywhere. But generally, yeah, you can sit anywhere in restaurants, cafes, or like a cocktail bar place like this. Susie says, that's expensive. Enjoy every sip. Yeah, it's expensive for Athens. It's not expensive for compared to New York. In New York, a cocktail is now $20. Sometimes $25. And sometimes now even $28. New York is a lovely city, but it's not really that fun to go out anymore in New York. It's too damn expensive. Wilmy, nice to see you here. Mika, welcome. You should try Mystica, says Ilham. I have. I'm not a fan of Mystica. It's a bit too strong, this kind of minty licorice flavor. I'm not sure how to describe it, but it's kind of very strong. I don't like it too much. So if people don't know, Mystica is kind of this kind of soda water that has this natural flavoring from one island in Greece. I think the island is Chios, or it might be Samos, one of those islands. And it's like minty, so I don't know how to describe it. Maria says, outrageous prices in NYC. Yes. Of course, if it's all perspective. So from the perspective of a New Yorker, we have outrageous prices in New York. Because if I go to maybe another state, like Washington, D.C., the cocktails would be a bit better priced. But you have to take into account that Athens or Greece is not cheap. It's just inexpensive from your point of view due to the economic circumstances and the exchange rate of where you're coming from. UK, US, I'm not sure, other parts of Europe. But for Greeks, this would be extremely expensive. This would be the equivalent of me buying a $28 cocktail in New York. For sure. So take that into account. What were the huge musical bands from Greece, says Gary? A lot of the Bertiko singers and guitarists were among the biggest. So you have Mikis Theodorakis, who made the score for Zorba the Greek, and that's probably the most famous modern Greek song heard around the world. I don't know the other guys' names off the top of my head, but there's definitely like a handful of them that became globally famous. For modern music in the 1980s, Evangelis became very famous as well. So yeah, there's probably a lot of other great artists out there. I am followed on Instagram by one of the top Greek singers. I forgot her name. I gotta remember her name also. Kathy says, yeah, New York, there are more than even some of them here in Vegas. Vegas, we play between 13 and 22. Yeah, I was kind of shocked how less expensive cocktails were even in LA. LA, I went to WeHo, which is West Hollywood. I wasn't able to live stream. And I'll tell you why. I was planning to live stream. Let me know if you want me to tell you about WeHo in Los Angeles, which I just visited after attending the Peabody Awards. Let me know if you want me to tell you. Evangeline says, what are your plans tomorrow? I don't reveal my plans, but I'll be celebrating with good company, good music, good food, good people, good vibes. Hatidakis and Vamarakis were both very famous musicians. Oh, thank you for letting us know, Alpha. The lighting in the restaurants really do give a warm ambiance. Yeah, that's another thing I really love. This is the case definitely in other European countries. They put very warm lighting, which is not the case in parts of the US where they're now replacing it with like white LED lighting. So the ambiance ends up being very kind of sterile feeling, which kind of sucks. So it's nice to have this kind of like nice warm ambiance in many of these Greek streets. I've sat this before, but Ariel, you just look and sound so happy when I'm like, country. I'm so glad you're back there and hope you get to spend more and more time in Greece. I would love Greek citizenship, so it would be an immense honor to be given Greek citizenship honorarily. They've given honorary Greek citizenship to like 4 or 5 people who are non-Greeks, who are non-Europeans, not EU. So one of them is like a British writer, an English writer. She's written a lot of fiction books that take place in Greece, and they award citizenship, the government, to very few people who are foreigners that have given so much culturally to the country or spread the culture of Greece around the world. Yeah, I'm aiming for that. I'm aiming for that. So I hope the Prime Minister is listening. Hey Mika, nice to see you here. Kim says, tell us the WeHo story. The WeHo story. So I was in, it was the day before the Peabodys. I was hanging out with my friend and collaborator, Kalo, who I won the Peabody with. And we made these videos about the history of race in LA. I posted one, I still have like 3 more to post. And then after that, I asked them, hey, what's like a good lively area to walk around in LA? Because I had a tough time finding a place to walk around in LA. I just couldn't find anywhere. And he said, oh yeah, I'm around WeHo. WeHo's amazing. I recommend you checking it out. And I asked him, hey man, you just want to go for a drink to celebrate the Peabodys? And yeah, we went to WeHo. We went to a place to grab a drink, and I had a Negroni. And the Negroni was served with a bunch of ice on a very tall glass. So this is short. You can think of twice the size of this glass, like what you would buy a large Coca-Cola with in the US. And it came with almost the entire cup filled with ice. And the guy just filled up the rest with a Negroni mixture. I thought, oh my god, yeah, this is like an icy, iced down drink. And WeHo is known as the gay area of Los Angeles. And I was like, oh, I just got a very watered down drink. I'll hang out with Khalil, have one drink, and then call it a night. Or maybe walk around the neighborhood. And I had that one drink, it was really good. I was like, wow, this is actually pretty good. It still went down like water. I was just like sipping it, and it went down easy. It tasted like juice. And then we went for a second drink, and this second drink, I started feeling tipsy. Another drink filled with a bunch of ice. This time it was a gin and tonic. It also went down very easy. I'm like, I thought these were weak drinks. Why am I feeling tipsy already? And then we went to another bar called the Abbey, and the Abbey is like kind of this Christian themed bar with a lot of dancers, both male and female. And it was pretty wild in there, and it was so easy to hop around between bars in WeHo. All you do is show ID to the bouncer, but otherwise there's no line, there's no hassle. similar to kind of the casualness of Greece, which I enjoyed, and it was so easy to hop around. So by the time I had my third cocktail at this place called the Abbey, it was another gin and tonic, and I had gin and tonic on purpose because I didn't intend on really getting drunk, but oh no, I was spinning. And I was like, oh my god, I wanted to do a live video, but now I just I'm way out there. And I started strolling around the streets of Ouzo in search of some fast Mexican food. I went to this place called Guisados, which is really good. And I was going to take out my camera to start live streaming, and I just saw the entire world spin. And no, I was not going through an earthquake like I did in Hania, or like I experienced also in New York. It was somehow I got drunk on only 3 what appeared to be icy, watered down cocktails. And I was kind of shocked. And then I realized, oh, it's because they gave me this large glass, and even though it was filled with ice, these were doubles, or maybe even triples. So I had anywhere between the equivalent of 6 to 10 cocktails. And then I knew, oh, this is why these LA people party hard in Ouzo. That's when I knew Ouzo is a good deal if you want to party hard and not want to spend too much money on a bunch of cocktails. So that was my Ouzo story. Unfortunately, I couldn't do a live video. I felt like I was in the roller coaster, and it wouldn't be a conducive live video. But lo and behold, that was the least amount of drinks I ever had in my life that got me the most drunk. 3 icy cocktails. Sonia says, I love Greek dancing. Hey, Ida says, enjoy the next live. Indeed. All right, I'm gonna finish this a bit quicker because I want to show you a little bit more of Plaka. So I'm gonna stick around for sitting down for 5 minutes, and then we're gonna continue walking, or maybe 10 minutes because, you know, it's Greece. So 5 to 10 minutes. Ask me anything. Rapid fire questions about Greece or travel, and then we're gonna continue walking a little bit more towards the neighborhood of Kukaki. Kim says Ariel got accidentally lit. I did indeed. Be careful with Ammonia Square, says Chile. Yeah, I'm not going towards Ammonia Square right now. Ammonia Square is worth it during the day. It's a very interesting neighborhood, but yes, it's a bit more of the seedy neighborhood of Athens, and I would not recommend it at night. The square itself is good for the hotels, but out the surroundings, maybe not so much. Kim says, chug, 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 chug. Alan says, hello. Alan, nice to see you here. Welcome. And one more time, the views. Let me show it to you. Alan says, will you return to Ireland? I really want to. Ireland is just so darn expensive. Lodging is the most expensive I've ever seen in any of the countries I have visited. I would love to have a bigger budget so I can visit Ireland and film a lot more in Ireland, or somehow collaborate with Ireland or some company in Ireland, because yeah, Ireland I deeply fell in love with. I got so many views in Ireland. So many people just saw me in the street, said hello, that they love my Ireland content. So yeah, I would love to go. Bree says, are you high up? I'm probably like 20 stories, 25 stories, maybe like 20 stories above street level. Maybe less, but like anywhere 15 to 20, I would say. Mildred says, hello, Urbanist. Lucky to be right there, yeah. Are you tired of New York City living, says M. Wall. A little bit. New York City has just gotten so deeply expensive for everything. You know, there's other expensive cities in the world, like London. The thing is with London, eating out is expensive. Drinking is getting a bit more expensive. And then living there, lodging and rent is expensive. But groceries are not expensive compared to New York. Eggs are not expensive. A casual coffee is not as expensive. Going to a pub is not as expensive as going to an average New York bar. And then transportation is easier in London. So even if you were to compare an expensive city with another expensive city, New York is just becoming so prohibitively expensive for everything. Eggs are crazy prices, bacon, spinach, berries, basic groceries are just getting very just overly expensive. Rent, the just everyday things like a coffee out, and what is life if you can't go out for a coffee? I get it when people say it's better to save money and make your own coffee at home, but what is life? What's the point of a beautiful city like New York if getting a coffee out is becoming a too high of an expense? I think that should not be the case in our cities. Coffee shouldn't be that high, groceries shouldn't be that expensive. So that's why even compared to London, it's kind of crazy the prices in New York. Luckily they're nowhere near as crazy as Denmark, where I went to before, or Sweden, or they're not as crazy expensive as Switzerland, which I've heard. But yeah, New York is it's becoming a bit stressful financially speaking, compared to what I can get coming here to many parts of Europe, France, Italy, Greece, England, Scotland. Yeah. Rafael says, what's life? Good question. I'd like the answer, please. What is life? Life is complicated. Everyone has a different journey in life. And it's better to embrace what journey the hand we're dealt with, to use a poker reference. We're given a hand and we have to play it. We have to play it to our best of our ability. It's a bit tough to sometimes. Not everyone has a good hand, for sure. So life is playing the hand that you're dealt with the best way you can. And have fun with it. Like a good game of poker. It's easier said than done sometimes, but I would say that is life. I liked it when you were in Bratislava. Seemed very nice. I really love Bratislava, Marit. 100%. Really love Bratislava. Someone left a super chat. Let me know if I missed any of the super chats. Hey, Alman Votara with a €12 super chat says, have a New York coffee. Me. Luckily, coffee's not that expensive yet in New York. I can afford me 2 coffees in New York, so thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate that. Isabel says, accidentally lit. I like that. At least you were not alone while it happened. Were you able to eat? Yes, I was. I was able to find some good fast food Mexican. Is it the case that salaries in New York are proportionally higher though? Yes and no. Salaries are indeed higher, but the standard of living is so high that nowadays in New York, according to recent studies, if you make 140K, 139K or less, you are struggling. You're considered low income, which is kind of insane to think about. And that has been published in a lot of these kind of news sites and newspapers that published this a few weeks ago. It's 139K or below is struggling in New York, which blows my mind. Hey, All we need is Socrates and Aristophanes for this. Indeed we do. To answer the question of life, Anthony says, I just spoke like a true Greek. I'm glad. Let me know what part. Would you consider moving to the EU for a home base? Yes, I would. Your favorite #1 appetizer, entree, and dessert in Greece, says Hank. #1 appetizer is zucchini balls, keftedes. The best appetizer I've ever had in my life. Salad is Greek salad, but I actually really love tacos, Cretan tacos. Is one of my favorites, which is similar to a Greek salad, just has a little hardened bread and ziomizithra cheese, which is kind of the soft cheese. Best entree, grilled octopus would probably be my favorite entree in Greece, with fava beans would be my #1. Yeah, that would be my #1. After that would be pastitsio, which is the Greek lasagna without eggplant. Isabel says, this area you're having a drink is beautiful, like candlelit. It really is. It really is. Alman in Volterra, nice to see you here. Is it a case that... Oh yeah, I already answered that. Ariel, have you been to Portugal yet? No, I have not. I want to go to Portugal. All right, cheers. Oh, wow. Everyone, log out. It's tuning in right now. Log out, man. I hope you're doing well. Log out is one of the more talented indie rock musicians, singer-songwriters I've met in my time here in Athens. He has one song featured in the very first episode of the Athens Urbanist. His work is genius. Highly recommend giving him a listen. He's in the Urbanist soundtrack. The Athens Urbanist soundtrack, which is a Spotify playlist that you can find in the link in anywhere in the documentary series on YouTube. Awesome guy, man. I hope you're doing well, and I hope you're still rocking, making great music. I know you are, because I just listened to your recent songs. So keep up the great work. Can we get a hint as where in Asia will you be traveling? Japan is on top of my list. I would love to check out Australia. I would love to go to Vietnam would be interesting, I think. Japan is on top of my list, though it's becoming kind of oversaturated with content right now. But let me know, would you like to see me in Japan? Would you like to see my perspective of Japan? Would it add any value to people out there who are watching? There's so much content now about Japan. So many tourists have flooded Japan, including YouTubers and live streamers, that Japanese content is kind of so commonplace now on YouTube. So let me know. Would you think I would? Do you think I would add anything new by going to Japan? Mildred is sponsoring some of this cocktail. Thank you so much, Mildred. Says, hey, Ariel is back in Athens. Love it. Cheers with the cool frappe. Oh yes, a good frappe. That's what matters the most. Kim says the Philippines. I would love to go to the Philippines. Yeah, for sure. Gary says Australia, even the trees are dangerous there. I think they are. Yeah. Adam says, see you next time. I'd love to see you in Asia in general. I feel like Japan's kind of saturated. MZ says, I would love to see you in Japan. They're not you. Oh, Japan has fascinated me for years. I'd love to see you in Japan. Oh, Nay says Japan would be unique. Fine Squirrel says Japan would be interesting. Vivian says, Ariel en Grecia nuevamente. Un agradado verte. Me encanta tus viajes. Gracias por viendo estas emisiones. Lo agradezco. Sí, estoy en Grecia otra vez, Vivian. Yes, I'm in Greece again, Vivian. I appreciate that. Me encanta viajando en Grecia. Is Athens your favorite city to walk around? Yes. Well, no, I wouldn't say my number one. I would say the reason I love Athens and Greece in general is the culture. Athens is it's an awesome city, in my opinion. But it's not my number one city, for sure. I would say the most beautiful city to walk around by far is Rome, followed by Paris. And then, yeah, Rome and Paris are the top two most beautiful cities in the world, I would say, for sure. But Athens is just charming, and the culture is so amazing. Yes, you would go there because normal YouTubers wouldn't go. You stay off the tourist trap areas. You show the true life in cities that you go to. Yeah, I'm glad you fixed that. If you go to Japan, try to go during cherry blossom season. It might be early April. Yeah, indeed. Oh, smells so good. Anjani says, Ariel, even though I do not eat meat, you make me hungry when you eat shish kebabs in the video that I watched yesterday. Yeah, oh man, I'm glad I can make you hungry, even though you don't eat meat. I wouldn't lie, Paris is one of my favorite cities. Yeah, Paris and Rome are just gorgeous. Those cities are just stunning places to walk around. There's very few cities that would compare to either. I have a tough, yeah, there's not that many other cities in the world that are like Paris or Rome. London has definitely a lot of charm. Edinburgh is gorgeous as well, but it's pretty small in terms of the walkable, beautiful area of Edinburgh. Yeah, Rome and Paris, since they're so big, they're true gems of a city. Evangeline says delicious cherry. Yeah. The Tokyo series would be epic, says Apple. Thank you. Alright, I'm gonna pay and continue to walk. Enjoy the views for now. $16.50 was my total. 12 for the cocktail, $4.50 for the water. Sparkling water is not regulated. Regular water is regulated. So if you order regular tap water at any restaurant or bar, they won't charge you that much. I think it's capped at like 1 for a regular size bottle. What's the name of the restaurant?
Ελέα.
Elea.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much.
Ευχαριστώ.
Καλή νύχτα.
Θα ξανάρθω πάλι.
All right, so that was great. That was Elea right here in Plaka. Highly recommend it. And now we're gonna make our way to Kukaki. Hey, Alman Rotaro says, a lone Chinese female traveler on YouTube traveled alone to both countries. I don't think she had any real issues. Oh, yeah, I'm glad. Glad to hear that. Wow. Hello, is anyone out there? So pro tip, you can hail taxis over here. Though don't be surprised if you if you hail a taxi, they might pick someone else up on the way to you, on the way dropping you off. But if you order an Ubers use taxis here in Athens. There's no private vehicles like in other cities, but the convenience of using the Uber app to order a taxi is that you'll be charged less and they won't pick up any other passengers. And you don't need to go through the hassle of trying to explain where the address is since it's already marked. So my recommendation, download Uber, set up a profile and account so you can easily grab a cab almost anywhere around the city. And then if you want a backup app, use FreeNow. FreeNow, FreeNow, FreeNow. And that app works in many cities across Europe, including here in Athens. Anthony says, growing up in the crisis, I disliked it here. Focus on family, not individuality and merit, entitlement and efficiency. Now I want to move to the US. What should I appreciate more about living here? Oh man, that is a great question, Anthony. I do understand the desire to have, to be in a culture where there's more of an entrepreneurial spirit. There's more acceptance of individuality, of uniqueness, for sure. The thing is with life, we all desire the things that we have lacked in our lives. And this is why I love Greece. I did not grow up in an area that felt very familial. I grew up in an area that you're kind of on your own. Dog eat dog world, as they say in the US. Dog eat dog world. So you're kind of just doing your own thing. You gotta hustle, you gotta work, you gotta advance through life, you gotta make money. That is the life I grew up with in New York City. So coming to Greece has been a welcome change from my point of view, because there's not really this rat race.
Çok koku gelebilir. Veya içi ağzı bozulup çırak küfredebilir mesela.
Aynen. Kesinlikle doğru. Eğer ki bu sınırı çizebiliyorsan bunu yapamazsın.
Wow, one of my favorite songs,
Ne sarhoşuyor?
The Mission
Çekersiniz.
by Ennio Morricone.
Konuşmazsın. Tamam konuşmazsa çözüm yok. Sana rahatsızlık vermesi.
یعنی خیلی نصف فرما یعنی پیاده میتونست
Very beautiful. Was that the mission?
Yes.
Yeah, that was all amazing. Delia.
Oh,
Delia.
you know something?
Yeah.
I'll play better if you don't shoot.
Okay, yeah, no worries. Yes, it's okay.
Play better when
Okay, yeah, it's okay, yeah, no worries. The poor flautist is camera shy. Such a shame. He was playing so beautifully. Could have shared it with thousands of people. Of course, I'm not here to judge, but from my own personal opinion, sometimes I find this such a shame because I've encountered this in my life where people with such amazing talent are just a bit too shy and don't want to share it with the world. Performers, actors, writers, I've met poets like this, so it kind of breaks my heart when I see that. I was like, oh man, so much beauty. Share it with others unabashedly. Don't keep it to yourself. But that's my opinion. Let me know what you think. Anthony says, I appreciate the answer. I came from Heraclean, Crete. If your way takes you there someday, I'd love to give you some pointers. Hey man, thank you so much. I did visit last summer, which was amazing. I really did enjoy it. I really enjoyed Crete overall. Great food. And if I go back, I would definitely ask for some pointers. And thank you so much for offering to show me around. So right over here, we're on one of the kind of the main thoroughfares in the lower area of Plaka that has amazing stores. They're closing down now. As you can see, some souvenir stores do stay open pretty late. I think most stores probably start closing around by 10. But this is a great little shopping area for souvenirs. A bit better than Monastiraki, which we were at before Plaka. So I would recommend it if you're trying to find a good souvenir. All right, let me know if you still see me and hear me. I hope I did not run out of cell. All right, so let me know if you still see me and hear me. I'm not entirely sure what happened. There was like a drop in service. Let me know what the last thing you saw. What was it? If you're seeing me live right now, comment ASAP. Lizzie says, te agradezco el canal, que crees que el canal es genial. You think the channel is wonderful. And que tu mamá ve el canal todo el tiempo. Eso es un placer, gracias por oír, eso es bien bueno oír, estoy bien agradecido y gracias a ti y tu mamá por viendo este canal. Es un placer hacer estos videos y qué bien que está viendo de México. Ojalá puedo regresar a México pronto. Yo creo que hay más sitios para ver en México. Y gracias, gracias, gracias. Agradezco. So thank you so much for watching, Lizzie. I appreciate that. And Lizzie's here from Mexico with her mom. And she says that she loves my channel, so I really do appreciate that. Thank you so much for watching. All right, so we have a little bit left. I'll stick around I'm gonna show you around for about 10 more minutes. Now we walk pretty much to the lower area of Plaka. It's a Tuesday night, so things are pretty kind of dying down at this time. But now we're gonna venture into at least a little bit of the neighborhood Kukaki, so you can see how kind of easy it is to walk around. It's a 2-hour broadcast so far, but generally this entire walk would take about 26 minutes at a good pace. If you're going very slowly, at 40 minutes maximum. Was considered rude or impolite for tourists in Greece. The Greeks have pretty high tolerance Greeks don't. I've seen that Greeks don't find too many things rude. I can't really speak on behalf of the Greeks, but I would say there's some of the etiquette that's kind of not followed. It's a good question. That is a good question. Speaking very loudly. Greeks speak a little bit louder than other Europeans, but Americans sometimes speak extremely loudly, so sometimes it's a bit too much. And I've encountered this, I've never been a loud speaking person myself. Nor am I soft spoken, but I've been in certain restaurants where I just hear American tourists, and there's kind of like they overwhelmingly louder than everyone in the restaurant. And this is a common stereotype within Americans in Greece and many other parts of Europe, and other parts of Europe for sure, like right now. Another thing is kind of getting a little overly drunk. Greeks in general, from what I've noticed, don't get too drunk. Getting drunk, getting wasted, getting sloppy is a bit in bad taste. It's a bit in bad taste, so to get to a point where you're kind of just sloppily dancing or mumbling, people are not gonna like that. Slurring your words, yeah, people are not gonna like that. I would say those are the two main things. LAB says saying no to food. Yeah, kind of saying no to food. Saying that you're vegetarian is kind of tricky territory. If you're kind of saying that you're vegan or vegetarian, if it's an older Greek person, older Greek family, they're kind of gonna be a little bit like, you're a bit weird, this is inconvenient. So do beware if you have food restrictions. You might run into some bumps in your interaction for a dinner. So do watch out. And generally just saying no to food, maybe 1 or 2 no's, but once you start crossing that no for a bunch of plates in the dinner, yeah, you might be offending the host. Alpha says, I would say littering in the streets and being too loud late at night when people sleep. Being too drunk is also considered pitiful and disgusting. Yeah, exactly. In America, we have a higher tolerance for drunkenness. So in America, if you're getting very drunk, I know also UK is similar. So, and Ireland, if you get very drunk, people are kind of just like having a laugh with you or at you. But yeah, here in Greece, it's not really that classy to do that. So right here is the main entrance to the Acropolis. We can see the beautiful Parthenon right there. This is the entrance to the Acropolis. The Acropolis Museum is right there. Beautiful walkway. You walk around, you have beautiful views of the Acropolis and the Parthenon. Great restaurants further down. I've walked these areas a lot, so highly recommend it. There's a great series of restaurants here. They're going to be, again, a bit more expensive because we're in the touristy areas. That's why I'm going to land in Kukaki, so I can show you how not to overspend too much on food. But this place is solid. Athena Bistro, highly recommend it. There's another great place I like down here called Leondi, which I'll point it out. I'll show you the Acropolis before. Kim says, wow, look at it peeking. Yeah, it's amazing. So right here is the entrance to the Acropolis. And at this time, restaurants start closing down on a weekday. But fret not, if you want a really late night bite, you can find them in Athens. There's a lot of fast food here, a lot of street food. You can also find a good Slovaki or gyro late at night. And they're scattered all throughout the city. Some are better than others, but you'll generally find food up until midnight, 1 a.m. You'll find food here in Athens. Here's the entrance to the metro stop here. We're at the Acropolis stop. George the Greek says, Greeks are very hospitable. Yes. Greeks are indeed very hospitable. Among the most hospitable people in all of Europe, for sure. Of course, I haven't been to other parts of the world. I heard like Pakistan is extremely hospitable, and parts of Northern Africa. But for my experience in Europe, Greeks are for sure the most hospitable of all the nationalities I've been to. Definitely to a higher degree, way higher degree than the French or the Italians, way higher. Crazy higher, actually. Here's the Acropolis Museum. Rocky says, is it offensive to use your hands when speaking? No. Here, no, it's not. I'm not sure what countries are offensive to speak with your hands. To me, it's rather puzzling when I get that comment, because I tend to gesticulate a lot, speak with my hands, and I get sometimes these comments of like, oh man, you're being so rude, dude, stop moving your hands so much. To me, it's very puzzling. So no, it's not the case in New York. It's not the case in Italy, not the case in other parts of Europe. Let me know what areas of the world would it be a bit much to gesticulate. Kim says Greeks gesticulate a lot. Yes, and they do gesticulate in a different form than Italians, for sure. So this is one of my favorite restaurants here. It's closed at this point, Leondi. At least in this touristy area. There's I would say better value restaurants in the nearby neighborhood of Kukaki. And the comments, be nice. Not everyone, people are commenting fast. Not everyone's going to be able always to have great spelling and grammar. Be nice in the comments. Be understanding. Not everyone has English as a first language as well. So, Akrita says, I'm about to book a ticket. Akrita says, I can feel the warmth of the city, and your broadcasts make me homesick. Man, I'm glad I can bring you closer to a city that you enjoy, maybe you grew up with. Do let me know. But I'm glad I can show you the city of yours, and that you want to book a ticket back. That's awesome to hear, man. Thank you so much for watching. Probably one of the better comments I can get when seeing these videos, when people say I'm booking a ticket to the place. That's awesome to hear. Goes to show that live video does work to show people interesting parts of the world. Have to check out that Ouzo next time, says Mildred. Yeah, it was a worthy cocktail for sure. It was called The Island for sure. So right here, okay, so we just passed by the main Acropolis area, and now we are entering the neighborhood of Kukaki. Kukaki, there's a lot to do and see and eat. We're just gonna peek a little bit further in, but there's a lot of cool things to do here. There's two main streets here in Kukaki. I don't know them off the top of my head, but there's two main thoroughfares to eat. So I'll just show you a little peek over here. You gotta walk inside. So Kukaki is a neighborhood in flux. You know, Greece, like many other cities around the world, it's complicated when talking about neighborhoods where one would say it's cool or hip or changing, because to one type of person it might be hip, to another person it's a home that they used to live in and they can no longer afford, or they've been priced out. So take that always into consideration when exploring these areas, or when I'm speaking about area with enthusiasm. That's always complicated in places all around the world. So Kukaki is one of such places that has recently been had a huge influx of expats coming into this neighborhood. People with a lot more money, with more buying power, and prices have increased significantly in the neighborhood of Kukaki, along with Airbnbs. Airbnbs that, at least in the beginning, were started by a lot of Greeks, but I think have been bought out by more and more foreigners. So Kukaki is a bit of a sore spot for local Athenians, who I interviewed in my documentary series. But nonetheless, if from the perspective of the tourist, it is a beautiful neighborhood. I do recommend visiting. Beauty, not in its aesthetic beauty, though it is very interesting aesthetically. Look at this row of polikatakias, which is the typical Athenian apartment building. But because there's a lot of cool restaurants, there's a lot of great food, bars, eateries, brunch places. And I think I'll end by showing you one last interesting bar here from the outside. This is a nice hotel. I haven't been here yet, but look at this. Oh. The beauty of this hotel right here, wood paneling. Ooh, people are watching a match right now. Maria says, interesting to know this neighborhood. So yes, if you want to see more of this neighborhood, watch episode 2 of my Athens Urbanist series. It's titled, Is Greek Food the Best? So check it out. Athens Urbanist 6-episode series on YouTube, and you can learn all about Athens. If you're fascinated by this live video, you'll be fascinated by that documentary. All 6 episodes are available on YouTube. They're in the playlist. Search the Athens Urbanist and you'll find it. And right here is Athens Tiki Bar. This is an old school tiki bar in modern day Athens. So here you'll find drinks like mojitos, pina coladas, mai tais, zombies, and other types of drinks. Highly recommend coming here. Really cool vibes. And there's countless other restaurants. I recommend the coffee bar, morning bar in the morning. Bel Ray is also a great vibe. Kukaki is one of my favorite restaurants. Tokouki. Kukaki is one of the best restaurants in my opinion in Athens. It's not really that known, not that many people go there, but it is wonderful. And now I gotta call it a night. So thank you everyone so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this broadcast. We walked from Psyrri, Psyrri, a neighborhood that is like the Greenwich Village of Athens, all through Monastiraki, the Times Square of Athens, through Plaka, the historic neighborhood of Athens, all the way to Kukaki, the hip, modern neighborhood of Athens, at least in a kind of a touristy, foreigner, expat kind of way. So I hope you enjoyed. There's a lot more to Athens, for sure. Athens is a gigantic city. These are just the touristy areas that are convenient to visit if you are here for a short a period of time. But if you're here longer or want to explore more of authentic local areas, there's definitely other areas you can visit, like Kifisia, Guifada, even neighborhoods nearby like Keremikos, Exarchia, as I visited 2-3 days ago. And you can go up to even Halandri, and there's so many wonderful neighborhoods in this city. So thank you everyone so much for tuning in. I will bid you adieu. I will be maybe going live 1 or 2 times more while I'm here in Greece. And then more adventures this summer. Everyone, keep being awesome and always keep on exploring. Have a good day, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Oh, wait. I'm in Greece. Kalimita. Good night.